Something extraordinary has just shaken the heart of Wales, a political earthquake that no one saw coming. For more than a century, this community stood unshaken, loyal to the same cause, the same color, the same party. Until tonight. In Caerphilly, the unthinkable has happened. Labour, the party that once owned these valleys, has been swept aside in a historic by-election that has stunned Westminster. The result wasn't close, it was devastating. Plaid Cymru stormed to victory with over 15,000 votes. Reform UK came second with more than 12,000. And Labour? Barely 3,700, a collapse of almost 35% since 2021. Just imagine it, a seat that's been red for 100 years suddenly turning green and grey. A community that once built Labour's red wall, now watching it crumble into dust. What's gone so wrong for Keir Starmer? Is this just one defeat, or the beginning of something far bigger? Turnout was above 50%, so this wasn't apathy. This was active rejection. People didn't stay home. They stood up and said no. When Plaid's Lindsay Whittle took the stage, his message to Wales was simple but powerful. We are at the dawn of a new beginning. He honored the late Hefin David, but promised a new path, a promise that echoed through the valleys. This victory, he said, feels better than scoring the winning try against New Zealand. For Labour, those words must have stung. A century of dominance gone in one night. And it's not just the result that's shocking, it's what comes next. Plaid Cymru's leader, Runap Iorwerth, called Labour tired, praising voters for choosing hope over division. Has Plaid now transformed from protest movement to power broker in Welsh politics? Are we witnessing the birth of a new political force? Inside Labour's headquarters, panic spread even before the votes were counted. One party insider warned that this would be a defeat for Starmerism, not for Wales. Translation? The knives are already out. Could this be the moment the party turns on its leader? Alex Barrows-Curtis went on GB News insisting Labour still had time to recover. Within hours, that confidence looked delusional. How do you come back from losing your safest seat? And here's the twist that makes it even more extraordinary. Labour didn't even come second. Reform UK's Zia Yusuf surged to 36%, up from just 1.74 years ago. That's not a swing. That's a revolution. In his speech, Yusuf congratulated Plaid, but celebrated what he called a historic realignment in British politics. Could he be right? Are we watching the old order crumble? Think about what this means. For the first time in living memory, Labour and the Conservatives together barely scraped 13% in a seat they once dominated. Has the so-called Uni Party finally collapsed? And if it has, what replaces it, nationalism or populism? Caerphilly isn't just any town, it's a symbol, a working-class heartland that once defined Labour Wales. To lose it so completely sends a message from Cardiff Bay to Westminster Bridge. The base has left the building. The people who once saw Labour as their voice have found new homes, some with Plaid's pro-Wales vision, others with Reform's anti-establishment fire. For Keir Starmer, it's more than an electoral loss, it's an identity crisis. So what happens now? Can Labour rebuild trust, or is the red wall gone for good? Will Plaid Cymru turn this momentum into government influence? And could Nigel Farage's Reform UK become the next populist powerhouse of British politics? If you were a voter in Caerphilly, what would you have done? Stayed loyal to the party of your parents and grandparents? Or voted for change after decades of feeling ignored? Tell me in the comments. Your answers shape how we cover these stories here on England Now 7. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into British politics, hit the like button and subscribe. Your support keeps independent reporting alive and unfiltered. But the story doesn't end there. Inside Parliament, the fallout has already begun. Sources close to Starmer say he plans to double down, but others are calling for a complete rethink before the next Welsh elections in May. Is this determination or denial? Meanwhile, Conservative MP Matt Vickers has launched a fierce attack on Labour's controversial boomerang immigration policy, calling it a disaster that's failing to stop illegal channel crossings. The scheme, allowing Britain to send illegal migrants to France in exchange for taking an equal number of legal asylum seekers, has drawn heavy criticism. Reports show that many deported migrants are returning within days. Vickers told GB News that the system is chaos, not control. We're seeing people come back almost immediately after being sent away, he said. That's not deterrence, that's dysfunction. He added that the only solution is a real deterrent. If you cross illegally, you cannot stay. He didn't spare the Prime Minister either. Starmer opposed deporting foreign criminals and voted against every tougher border law. No wonder our borders are in chaos. So, does Vickers have a point? Is Labour's immigration stance truly failing, or is this another example of political theater designed to score points? And what would you do to fix the border crisis if you were in charge? Let me know down below. And don't forget, England Now 7 isn't here to repeat talking points. We're here to question power, expose hypocrisy, and tell the stories the mainstream won't. When the history of this week is written, one image will stand out. A Welsh town that said enough. Caerphilly, once Labour's beating heart, now a warning to the establishment. For Starmer, it's not just a defeat, it's a message. Change or be replaced.